I guess, we've seen you cheering for each other, wearing each other's colors, training together, obviously living together. So I guess in a way, maybe it's not too surprising that you would choose to end your careers together as well. Tell me about that decision.
Sure.
You go first.
After Rio, we were both really tired, like any other year after a championship. And we kind of decided to spend a lot of time thinking about going into training for the next year because we thought we were going to commit to 2017. Basically, over this 2 or 3 months, I had personally myself spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I knew that there was no way I was going to continue. And so about a week or 2 weeks before we were to start training for 2017, I kind of just stood up and told Brianne at night, I don't think I'm doing track anymore.
And that was shocking to me, not because he wasn't going to do track anymore, but because of the day he told me. I went for a run that morning. So this is like the end of November, and I had not thought about training or track or what I wanted to do at all for the 3-month off season because I didn't want to make a decision based on my fatigue from the previous year. So I went for a run, and it was like a gut feeling. It just hit me that I didn't want to do track anymore. I couldn't imagine going to practice every day. I didn't feel like I could accomplish anything else. I felt like satisfied with what I had done in my career so far, and I just felt ready to move on. So when he told me that, I hadn't told him that I had these feelings on the run because I wanted to just sit with it for a while first. He told me that, and I was just like blown away that it kind of all came together on the same day. I didn't commit to retiring that day. I told him I wanted to think about it a little bit more and talk to people, but probably 2 weeks later, I came to the final decision also.
You know, as a spectator, you see people compete, you almost feel like you really get to know them. So it's a little sad, really, when you hear that they're not going to be doing what you know them doing, in your case, competing. How sad is it for you?
I mean, it's bittersweet, really. Like, through this last month and a half, telling people, or just going through like the realization of I'm not going to be doing this anymore, I would say that it's fair to say that the longer time goes on, the more we both know for sure this is the right decision. But each time you make more of a commitment to going in this step or along this path, it brings up more emotion. So today was another one of those days. It was just like, I know this is the right decision, but this is also really hard to do. And when you see the responses on social media of just support, it's like, it just makes, it makes you feel like you're walking away from people or something. And that, obviously, we don't want that to be the case, but I think that's where the emotions come from.
What's going through your head, Ashton?
Well, when Brianne was talking earlier with somebody, she had brought up a good point, which was basically identifying as an athlete. So before, when we were like on a plane or at a restaurant or something, and it's kind of like, hey, what do you do? It was like, oh, I do track and field and that kind of thing. And now it's kind of like, I have no idea. You know,
I don't have a job.
I don't do anything. So the point of that was just, when you were able to say that, you never thought about it. But when you're not able to say, I'm an athlete, you think about that and then the time that you had and what that really means. And so it is a little bit sad to not be able to say that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like she said, it's bittersweet because I am very happy with the time that we did have. I'm happy that we had the time together. And I would rather have said I used to be an athlete than not one at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, it's still a huge part of your collective identities. What do you see doing next? What do you do when you've won 2 gold, Ashton, or everyone knows you in Canada as the most successful heptathlete we've ever had, Brianne? What do you do? What comes next?
I don't know. I've never been in this situation before.
You know that year after high school that some people take before they go to college? I think they call it a gap year. It's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah, we're taking a year off to figure out what we want to do with our lives, where we want to live, when we want to start a family, like all of this was just never thought about because we were so dedicated to track and field. So we're going to take a year and also explore what our passions are away from sport. We're kind of starting to get an idea. Ashton he loves science and technology, and well, I'll let you speak for yourself.
Well, another thing is, I think when you're dedicated to this sport, or maybe just really anything to a certain high level, you really isolate yourself to focus on it 100%. Mm-hmm. And so I personally, and I think Brianne too, we don't really have any idea how the real world works. Like, we don't have resumes. We've never gone in for job interviews. We've never really done any of that type of stuff. It's not to say that we won't, or that we, will be unsuccessful in that. It's just almost like trying to do a new sport. You just don't know the techniques and that kind of stuff. So we'll spend this year. Well, you got to be people, I guess.
Something tells me you're not going to have any shortage of opportunities. Thank you both for being with us today.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye-bye.
Bye.